Hi everyone, it's Claire back again. Considering it is miserable and raining and grey and actually quite cold as well for June, it's such horrible weather outside. So I thought I would try to cheer myself up a bit with some fantastic bright orange polishes. So I've got a range of neons, juicy bright oranges. I'm kind of stopping with, I'm not including pastel peaches and creamy oranges, pale oranges. Also, I'm not including darker, deeper burnt oranges, so they'll be at different times of the year. At the moment, it's a kind of focus on summer polishes, which is ridiculous because of the weather. But let's make a start with bright oranges. I don't know how many I'm going to destash because I think in previous destashes I've done quite a good job of making sure that I'm not, I've taken dupes out and things like that. But this, I'm starting with the very bright kind of neon oranges. And this one is called Beach Fire. And it's one of those polish for tans polishes from Model Zone. This probably will look a little bit brighter over a white, but it is still a very bright orange, really badly applied. It is, I was going to say a watery formula, but I don't know if it is just my application, but that is Beach Fire. And then another, this is from the Neon and On collection, but it's not really neon anymore, but it is a very pretty, shimmery, a kind of peachy orange. And this is Infinity from Pretty Perfect Polish, who unfortunately is no longer making polishes. This is a great formula actually. It's very similar in shade to the Model Zone. It's not quite as bright. But yeah, we'll see what that looks like on 2 coats. This is, I think, probably the brightest true orange. It's kind of like, it's like a bright safety kind of warning orange. And I can't remember the name of it. I'll tell you in a sec. Caution, that's what it's called. And it is a very, very bright orange with a fantastic formula. And yeah, this is from Polish Me Royalty. Please come back soon, Sarah, if you're watching this. I love Polish Me Royalty polishes. So that is, did I get the name right? Yeah, Caution. I've got 3 very bright neon oranges, but the more in the kind of, these 3 are more, the light's going everywhere. They're more coral neons. This one is a recent polish from the Cream collection, Yvette. This is a mini of Mayhem Mentality, which has been in a project polish. And this one here is Flip Flop Fantasy, but it's the newer one, the one that's more of a coral than a pink. So let's have a look at these 3 together. This is Yvette from Ada's Nails, and it is a fantastic formula for such bright, bright neon. It's more of a neon pastel, I would say, but it's still very, very bright. This is Mayhem Mentality, and I love this polish because I've got, well, I actually had to throw them away recently, but I had a pair of trainers or sneakers that were in exactly the same colour. So I had matching footwear for this one. You can't see how bright that is, but it is a popping neon shade. So that's Mayhem Mentality. And finally, Flip Flop Fantasy. And as I said, this is the newer version. Not a bad formula. I think probably better than the original formula that I've heard a lot of people complain about. But yeah, that is definitely the newer version of Flip Flop Fantasy. The original was definitely more pink. It's the swatch wheel just kind of dries things quite dull. I've been getting away with not having to put a top coat on. So we'll see what all of these polishes look like on a second coat. But let's move along to the less neon but still very bright. This is a brand new polish that's come from the individuals collection, and this is Peachy Keen, which is actually a Crelly. If you can see the tiny little, they look like blue shards, but let's have a look. So this is the first time I've actually swatched this polish. Well, yes, it is definitely darker, well, darker than Flip Flop Fantasy, but it is a very pretty kind of corally peach. And it is a brilliant formula, and those delicate flakes in there. This one is a very similar colour. This is one of the Essence colour boosts. This is Instant Fun, and these are supposed to be one coaters, so let's have a look. I can't remember. I know a couple of these are definitely one coaters. I can't remember if this one is. Oh, it looks very opaque. It's just next to those bright orange neons. These look more pink, but that is definitely a peachy orange. And this is, oh wow, that does look pink. It does look very pink, but it is a very bright coral, and this is Lament from Illamasqua. And from what I can remember, this is a brilliant formula. Yeah, this is definitely the most pink of my bright coral polishes. But it's definitely got more orange in it than it is pink. That just looks like bright pink there. Whoa. I don't know if you can hear the rain outside, but it is absolutely tipping down. Right, okay, let's keep moving. So more moving away from the corals to the sort of tangerine bright shades. And this one is Sunkist from Sally Hansen. It looks slightly darker. Whoops. Again with those long stemmed Sally Hansen extreme wear. It's bright, it's definitely very bright. I'm not so sure about the formula with this one. We shall see. It is actually very similar in shade to this beautiful polish here. This is called You Don't Want the Trick. And this is, it's from Prism Polish. It needs to be built up, but I love this polish. It's a fantastic formula, and it's a kind of glow-in-the-dark polish, and it's got a pink shimmer. Yeah, I think you can see that pink shimmer there on the nail. It is an absolutely beautiful polish, so that's You Don't Want the Trick. Definitely won't be destashing that one. And then we've got Orly, and this is Orange Punch, and this is a favourite orange of mine, and I know it's quite a popular polish for a lot of people. It's just a classic, bright, juicy orange. Again, the formula isn't as fantastic as I remember. That is Orange Punch, and very similar is another very similar shade is Lottie Sunset Secrets. Can't remember what the formula is like on this. So it's not too bad at all. It's more of a kind of Crelly formula, and it's just slightly darker than Orange Punch. This is a polish that was sent to me not too long ago, and this is I Am the Pumpkin King, and it's from Moonshine Manny, and it's a beautiful, juicy, jelly, bright orange. It's very difficult to capture this in a photograph. I've got a picture of this on Instagram, but it just looks bright red, but it is definitely orange, very bright, juicy orange. That is I Am the Pumpkin King. And then the final three, just before we start tipping into a darker, more autumnal burnt orange. This is a mini, and this is Raw Orange from Essie. Yeah, I don't know what that is trapped in there. It is a great orange, actually. If I had a full-size bottle, I probably would keep this, but I'm not so sure. We'll see on a second coat. This one is from Hollish Polish, and I think this was sent to me by Sarah Hollis, and this is My Middle Name is Fabulous, and it is a beautiful scattered holographic juicy orange. And this is a great formula, needs to be built up. But it's fantastic holographic. And then finally we have Crushed, which is a shimmery bright, again, it's kind of pinky coral orange, and it's one of those Sally Hansen extreme wear, the ones where I don't like the stem. I think this is more of a kind of metallic finish, yeah. So I should have put this over here really with the corally type of polishes, but that is Crushed from Sally Hansen. It's got a really kind of subtle shimmer. So this swatch wheel has just eaten everything and made everything matte. So I'm going to put a second coat on. We can come back and I'll see. I very much doubt, actually, perhaps maybe one or two. But it's going to be difficult for me to destash these oranges, even worse than the pinks. God knows what it's going to be like when I get to the blues and the purples and the greens. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so that is a second coat on everything. Some of them have started to dry, but some of them are matte anyway, so this is going to be really difficult. Okay, let me just go with my first instincts. I'm going to keep the Model's Own, even though it's not the best formula, but I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to destash the Infinity Pretty Perfect Polish. It is a really pretty polish, but it's not quite as bright as this one, and it's in the same kind of tangerine category, which I'm less fond of than the other bright oranges. So I feel like I only really need to keep one of them. So I'm keeping this one, destashing this one. I am going to keep Caution because it's the brightest of those juicy, bright, true oranges that I've got. So I'm definitely keeping that one. I'm also going to be keeping Yvette, which is a new to me, bright cream from Ada's Nails. I'm going to keep Mayhem Mentality. I'm also going to keep Flip Flop Fantasy. I'm going to be keeping the brand new Peachy Keen. This looks a lot darker on the nail, more of a kind of neutral sort of peach. I really like it. I'm also going to keep these two because they're different from each other and the formulas are great. So that's Lament from Illamasqua and Instant Fun from Essence. I'm just looking at the other three. Okay, so these two here, very similar kind of bright Halloween type orange. This one going nowhere, but I think I'm actually going to destash Sunkist. And these two are very similar actually. Let's have a look at these three oranges together, are very similar. So I'm going to keep Orange Crush. I'm going to destash the Lottie. That's managed to stick around through quite a lot of destashes, but I'm going to destash it. I'm going to keep the Moonshine Manny, even though some of these glitters do stick up a little bit. It's a little tiny bit textured, but just enough to be able to handle it. So yeah, I'm going to say goodbye to the Lottie. And I'm actually going to keep all of these three. This is the only kind of metallic orange. I don't think you can see the effect there, but I want to keep that one just for that reason. It's a metallic orange. This is my one and only bright orange holographic. And Raw Orange, it looks horrible there because it's got some sort of thing trapped in it and it's not drying very well. But it is actually a very bright, juicy Essie. If I had this in a bigger bottle, I'd probably be quite happy with that. But it doesn't take up a massive amount of room. So I'm going to keep it just hanging around in my collection. Plus it's kind of halfway down. Probably only got a couple more manicures out of that. So my bright oranges. I've ended up destashing. I had 17. I had 17 to start with. I've got 14 and I'm destashing these 3. Yeah, let me know what you think of bright oranges. Are they your kind of thing? What kind of orange? More of the tangerine orange or the bright juicy orange? Any particular type of finishes? What do you think about corals and neons? Yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!